Hi guys, I'm here with your weekly update. First thing is that I've updated the syllabus for our course. You can go to Blackboard now into the course documents area and see a syllabus that plans out the next 4 or so weeks of class with an eye on the online versions of these things that we're going to be doing. You'll see that I've slightly modified the timeline for the final due date for the paper as well as our peer reviews. Nothing major here. I basically just moved things by a day and moved our presentations that would normally be before our final papers are due into the final exam slot. So now the last week of classes, including our final exam time, is going to be you guys giving presentation versions of your projects. Don't worry about that now. We'll talk more about what those presentations need to consist of when they get closer. You'll also see that I've changed the homework for Monday. You are now going to read a short article. It's actually 2 pages. It's basically like a bulleted list and a link in one of them to a second page that's about doing good interviews. As a reminder, you are required to send interview questions to somebody that is an expert for this research paper, but you are no longer required to cite them. Send them questions as an email, CC me on that email, and you'll get credit for completing the interview portion even if they don't respond. If they do respond and you're able to cite your interviewee in your paper, that will be a good thing and I think even worth a point or two of extra credit on the assignment. I've said it, so I'm just going to do that, okay? For Monday, then, what you need to do is read that short, again, 2-page reading on interview questions. And what I want you to post as your reading journal is a description of a person you think is an expert that you would like to interview, as well as 5 interview questions that follow our best practices for interviews from the reading. If you don't know somebody specific, you can just put a generic title in there for somebody you'd like to interview, like a practicing doctor or a CEO of a major corporation. But then we'll have to talk a little bit about who the most appropriate person to send your interview questions to might be. If you already know somebody, you've got a family friend or an aunt or uncle who is a perfect person to interview for your paper, that would be great. If you got a faculty member that would be a good person to interview, that would be good as well. But remember, you are going to have to interview somebody or at least send them interview questions in order to get credit for that portion of the assignment. All right, there are a couple of other updates to the syllabus that are a response to some questions that you guys have asked. One is the draft that's due next Friday is not going to require an abstract. You are going to have to do abstracts for the final version of your paper, but we are going to talk about abstracts more specifically after the first version of your paper is turned in for peer review. Basically, you can't write an abstract until after you have a full version of your paper, so we'll do that between the first and the second peer reviews. The second question that people have asked me a number of times is about your annotated bibliographies. 2 things about the annotated bibliography. One, you are not required to include all of those sources in the final version of your paper. It would be great if you did, but even reading sources that you're not citing will help you understand your topic in greater depth and detail, right? The second thing is that for the major paper, you do not need to write annotations. You are simply going to do a full list of references of all of the essays, books, articles that you've cited in your paper. And it's going to look just like it did for the controversy summary. That annotated bibliography was a separate assignment that required you to reflect on credibility and argument and evidence and stuff like that, just to help you understand your topic better. Okay, so for next week, then, the 2 things to remember are 1, there's a short reading and a reading journal entry due that's about interviews. And 2, your full draft of your paper is going to be due by Friday, and then we'll do our peer review online over the weekend. I'll give you instructions for that at the end of next week. If you have any questions in the meantime, of course, you're always welcome to email me. You will also see open office hours at least once a week on the syllabus, and you are welcome to pop in and ask questions that way if you'd like. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. If I haven't already met with you for your conference, I'll see you tomorrow. For everybody else, homework for Monday, draft for next Friday. All right. Take care, guys.